Hey guys, welcome back. So today I am doing a blush draping tutorial. So I dove into a little bit of my Wayne Goss Vivid Azalea little thingy and used one of those AOA Studio Cream blushes right here, the red color, to go with my eyeballs. So if you're interested to see how I blush drape, how I keep it looking fresh over here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I decided I really wanted to dive in again to this little AOA Studio blush in the shade Charm. It's this vibrant red, and I figured it'd be perfect for this look. So how I blush drape kind of depends on the product I'm using. So if it's a cream product, I will generally use a sponge. If it's a powder product, I'll use a brush. And I tend to like to drape with pigmented cream products. I find that that's the easiest, but sometimes if you have, say, if you're doing like a one shadow look, like a wash of bright orange, say, if you make it a rounded look and you just diffuse that orange eyeshadow, it makes it easier to diffuse like a powder orange blush into that, and that's the way I like to do it. So I'm going to start out here on my clean damp sponge that I use for foundation. I'm going to start on a clean side with the pointy end right here, and I'm just going to dip a little bit into this blush so I can get some of that pigment on there. And sometimes I'll like tap it on the back of my hand to see if I got you know, a good amount there. So I'll swipe in there and get what I need, and then I'll start on my temple here and start to build that up. And I like to make this a slow, kind of gradual process because otherwise things can get out of hand very quickly. So I try to take as little product as possible and go from there. And I should have done a rounded look today. I tend to like to drape with rounded looks, but that's neither here nor there. The general rule is start from the bottom corner of your eye and kind of do it in like a C shape right here. And then there is a way that I like to do it that's a little more subtle as well, and I will kind of talk you through that, but I probably won't be doing it with this particular blush. Just stop that opacity right about here, and that's what I'll go over with the like the foundation-y side of my sponge. And try and diffuse that. I want the most pigment to be right in my temple region. And I'm so sorry if you hear my daughter crying. Rachel just put her down for a nap, so she gets kind of upset when that happens. Okay, so I'm going to start with this cream. This one does not have the undertone that I thought, so I'm actually going to go in with a powder as well. Use a little bit of my Wayne Goss Vivid Azalea blush duo right here. Two really crazy pigmented blushes. Yes, so I'm using two wildly pigmented blushes. The reason I'm going to go in with this one next is because this one has a little more orange than I was hoping for. My eye look has a little more cranberry to it. So I'm going to go in with just a touch of this on this like Japanese brush. And I said a touch because it's opaque, which is great if you have a deeper skin tone. But for me, it might be a little difficult to work with. And then again, I start just at the temple in that kind of C shape, and I just pat over it gently. And I really want to make sure I bring that like into my hairline as well. Yeah, and that has a better color. Charlotte, please. Bring that pretty much all the way up over here, and I try to diffuse it as best as possible. Yeah. And then I'm going to go in a little more because I want a little more color right up here. Getting back into the hairline is very important, otherwise you'll get some gaps. And then I did want to mention as well, highlighting over blush draping is something that I'm very passionate about. So you don't want the highlighter that you would use for your normal kind of skin. I like to do something a little deeper in that case. Sometimes like let me pull out some options. Mars Melter from Kaleidos is a great one because it's a little more rich than my skin tone. This one pulls a little dark on me regularly. So if I put it over this blush, it's not going to be as stark as Icy, and it's not going to wash over that blush draping and wash it out really. Another one, I do like the one in this duo because it doesn't have a ton of base pigment to it actually. It's relatively sheer in application, so it doesn't give you that kind of white stripe looking thing. I think I'm going to go with Mars Melter though because it goes with my look a little more. And I use like a little flimsy brush like this. This one's from BH Cosmetics. It's the number 140. I know Robbie Christie used to talk about this a lot. And I just go in with a bit of that highlight, and I almost top not the entire thing, but I like to get a good amount of that going. And again, look, it doesn't take away from the opacity of that blush draping. It doesn't, you know, ruin that whole effect. So that's why I like this one a lot. This one is definitely very glittery. It has a very strong gold shift. This is a very, very intense highlighter, but Lord, is it beautiful. This is more like into a typical eyeshadow more than a highlighter, honestly. Has a lot more texture to it. So if I'm going for, I'm going to do the other side and explain what I'm talking about, but if I'm going for a more subtle look, I'll take something like closer to my skin tone, and normally it's a cream. The one I love to do this with is Growth Flirt from ColourPop, but I will take a color that's not as intense as this, so it doesn't contrast this much, and I will do the same sort of technique. I'll also add it to my chin, my forehead, and across my nose, and it gives you the most sunburnt, sun-kissed kind of look ever. Khaki, ooh, what's her actual channel name? I watch her all the time and I don't even know this. It's like Khaki Loves Makeup or something, Khaki Reviews Beauty. I don't know, I'll link her. She does it all the time. She's a big fan of blush, and she doesn't call it blush draping, I don't think, but I do find her tutorials to be very beneficial in achieving that really gorgeous sun-kissed kind of thing. You know how people are doing blush on the nose? It's similar to that, but it's not as stark. Like a lot of people will do like just a big Rudolph kind of thing here with their blush, and then they will leave it like that. She does it as like this really gorgeous wash. Like it just looks so natural on her, and I just think it's beautiful. Again, the wing goes too well. So it's really, blush draping is not difficult. It just is something that can take some getting used to if you're not familiar with it, or if you're not used to wearing so much color on the cheeks. It can be really, really scary to blush drape, honestly. I know it was terrifying to me when I first started, but now it's kind of part of my daily routine. Whoa, what happened here? Got patchy for whatever reason. I don't normally layer things over these AOA blushes because they're super sticky. They're like the Nude Sticks Nudies Blooms, so that's probably why this is happening, but that is my fault. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that and cover it with that highlighter anyway. But how I like to deal with this across my nose is just like use the slightest touch and go over the bridge. So this is what I do on my more natural days with a less intense color, but I'll do it with this one as well just to show you guys the effect that it gives. Again, right here I'm just going in with like excess product because I have so much color on my cheeks already, but right here on the chin is a really good area, and then right up here on your forehead. Again, temples are my favorite place. And it just gives this more uniform sort of look, in my humble opinion. But yeah, you definitely want to play around with it. I normally just recommend that you go in with your regular sort of tones to practice with it, just because it's not as stark, it's not as scary, and if you mess up, it's not as apparent. And also, I did want to mention, I learned blush draping from Lauren May Beauty here on YouTube, who, if you guys don't know, is like the light of my life. She's my favorite person to watch on YouTube at all times. So she's my favorite person to consult in terms of how to do my makeup. Yeah, this is kind of how I apply it. I will come back with my face all done and show you what it looks like when I fix this patchiness issue. Alright, and this is everything all completed. So I personally feel that once everything's all, you know, on there and done, it doesn't look that crazy. But I'm also used to myself in bright colors and gaudy makeup and hair and all that jazz, so I don't know, I could be biased. You can let me know what you think. This is normal to me, so this doesn't sway me at all to wear less blush, let me just say. But if you enjoyed the tutorial, or if you want to see more tutorials with different products, then let me know. I'm happy to do those and provide some more recommendations. I'll actually link my favorite blushes to do this with in the description if you guys want to purchase any or look through any just for ideas. But thank you so much for tuning in today, and we hope to see you in our next video.